Well, hello, my friends. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome into this webinar experience. I want to thank you all for taking the time to hang out with us and what I like to call, what is this? This is Friday Eve, right? We're about to get into a weekend. For many of you, a very long weekend as we're getting into Thanksgiving. This also kicks off the end of the sales year, right? So excited to have this conversation with you guys today and talk about how we can end the sales year strong and start the new year 2024 even stronger. So this webinar experience is brought to you by Exposure and Business and Bourbon. So excited to collaborate on this particular webinar and future webinars where we're going to be talking about the things that you guys care about. If you have not been part of a Business and Bourbon webinar experience, the one thing you need to know is that this is all about you. Okay, we want engagement. I want to know where you're coming from. I want to know what your questions are. I want to know what's going on in your world. We want to talk about what you want us to talk about, right? So there is no agenda other than to share and connect and serve the community the very best way that we can. So as we get this thing started, I'm going to start by introducing one of the co-founders of Exposure, my good friend Kelly Ballou McMillan. She joins us. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, hear me?
You're live. You're
Oh,
in.
awesome. Thank you so much. I can't see anything in the background, so I'm just like, I'm here, happy to be here. Um,
W-
well,
w-
yeah, thank you for hosting this webinar, Ronell.
Well, I'm excited to do this. This is something that we're looking forward to doing many webinars here in the future. As I said, to continue to serve the community, and not just the exposure community, but the business bourbon community, and our combined community reach, right, and technology channel and beyond. And so we're going to be really working on creating content, creating webinars that are focused on the things that we know that those communities care the most about. So Kelly, if you wouldn't mind, first of all, thank you for joining us today for this, but if you wouldn't mind, I would love it if you could just take a moment and tell everyone a little bit about Exposure and what our mission is.
Yeah, so again, thank you for having me and hosting. Exposure, Inclusion, and Diversity Council is one of the Indirect Channel's first business resource groups that's focused on elevating the culture and sustainability of our tech and technology and telecommunications space. Um, and we're trying to do that through creating an ecosystem of the industry's top talent to help newbies into our space through mentorship and education and really kind of navigating this space. Also in collaboration with diversity, equity, inclusion, and allyship initiatives. So we are curating like this special community for people to get together, really share best practices, and kind of like what you're going to be doing in this webinar, talking about how to round the year out well from a sales perspective. That's also needed from a marketing perspective and from a how do you grow your channel, and as an entrepreneur, how do you move into this space? So we saw a need, we saw a gap in that space from a mentorship, formalized mentorship perspective, and we wanted to fill it. Some of the things that Exposure has done over the last few years as we seek to continue to make strides and impacts on this channel, but some philanthropic opportunities that we've had to give back to communities. As you know, we in the channel, we descend on a space, couple hundred of us anytime we host education sessions. And in Austin a few years ago, we were able to replenish a organization who takes in families who find themselves down on their luck, but they take in the entire family. So we were able to replenish their libraries. We were able to do a couple of community cleanups. We also have impacted our industry events by asking them to put in code of conducts so that we can feel comfortable and safe navigating those spaces and networking. And most importantly, our industry, the brokers kind of in our industry that manage the ecosystem from a contracts perspective with both entrepreneurs and vendors, used to be called master agents. And we wrote a really kind letter to them a few years ago and asked if they could rebrand to something that actually describes what their organization does, which is technology solutions, either broker or distributor. Earlier this year, they settled on distributor. And so that meant that hundreds of thousands of contracts needed to be renegotiated or rewritten to include that language. And I think that, and just creating an ecosystem and a community where everybody can feel authentically themselves, we've made a pretty solid impact on the channel. As we move into 2024, we are going to focus even more on formalizing the mentorship programs, and we have a lot more to come. And as we create that platform, we will be then leveraging our members that can have kind of found their ground here in the channel to give back to others that we're recruiting to come into this space.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for sharing the mission. As a board member, I'm super excited about the direction of the organization, and I was super excited to join and be part of the great work that you guys have been doing and the groundwork that you've laid. And so yeah, it's onward and upward. I want to encourage anyone that's watching this live or on replay, make sure you check out the Exposure website, which is what, Kelly?
Exposure, XPOSUREIDC.org. And that website right now, we're getting it updated so that you can still go in and sign up for membership and join our calendar to check out more of these webinars that we'll be hosting on a monthly cadence. And then also our communities meetings that we host monthly as well. And as we move into Q1, you're going to see a brand new website from us. So I'm super excited about that project.
So am I. Yeah, it's going to be dope. So guys, again, go to the website. Again, appreciate however you're consuming this. If you're live, if you're replay, we love you. We appreciate you taking your time to hang out. Make sure and go to Exposure. There's a lot of great work that's happening with Exposure. Before I let you go, Kelly, I'm going to bring in, I got my sister from another Mr. on right now, Kelly McMillan, but I got to bring on my sister from the same Mr. and same Tasha
same womb.
Mobasher. Tasha, welcome to the platform. Welcome to the webinar. I'm really excited to get this thing going. So many of you, some of you may not know, but technology and technology sales is a family affair in the Richards household. It is a family business. So not only have I been in the technology channel in technology world since 2000, which is what, 23 years now, but Mrs. Richards Mobasher has been in nearly as long. I'm older, and she likes when I say that. I'm older, so she's got like, I'm 23 years. She's got like what, 19-ish, 20?
Right? Do we count the age? Do we count the year?
Yeah,
once you hit 20,
don't date yourself.
Once you hit 20, we just gonna stop there and just round it to 20.
What they say, 20 plus. That's where you
plus. Yes.
And in this webinar, we also invited our brother, Jamel Pearson Richards, who had first of all, let's wish a happy anniversary to he and his lovely wife. They had an anniversary last week, and they went down to Las Vegas and went to the Usher concert and came back more in love and with COVID. so he's going through it right now. He's having a really rough go, so I want to wish him the very best. He did send us some of his answers to some of the questions and things that we're going to talk about today. So we love you, bruh. We miss you. Hope you get better soon. So Kelly, you want to hang out with us for a little bit?
I'll hang out with a little bit. Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna you're gonna hang out for the first question, and then I'll let you go. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So Tasha, you were again, guys. You're dealing with right now between myself and Tasha. We've got, we're near. Jesus Christ, I don't think I want to say this, but I'm gonna say it. 40 years in sales and technology, and a lot of success, a lot of awards, and a lot of challenges, a lot of things that you guys all out there face now. And so I was excited to have this conversation with my siblings, because I've been there along the way to watch them and their rise and technology sales, and seeing all the challenges and we have these conversations all the time in terms of, how to overcome some of these things. And so I wanted to, in this forum, kind of let you guys in on those conversations in that world.
The Thanksgiving table, right? This is
The
the Thanksgiving table.
table. There we go. All right. So as we get
Melody,
into
if I can be invited the next time.
Let's go. Yes.
Kelly, you're always invited, first of all.
Because that sounds like
so that y'all know, again, Kelly is the sister from another mister. We went out and had a great time with Kelly in Houston, in her hometown. We did a sibling trip and went out there to Houston, so we come kick it with Kelly. It was a great time. Thank you for the love, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, so this is a tough time for a lot of folks, right? Like ending the year and thinking about the new year, and there's always a lot of challenges in trying to finish out that fourth quarter the way we want to. Kelly, and I'll ask Tasha first. She's a little prepared for this, and then Kelly, I'll ask you, what does in your organization, what does fourth quarter, what is January or December and January typically look like for you? Tasha, I'll ask you first. What does that typically look like for you?
Oof, I think all hands on deck is probably the quote unquote for especially November, December, end of year, right? Get everything in as fast as you can. Everyone's rushing to go meet Santa on the 25th. So everyone's just kind of going in and with the expectations that we'll come back with a strong start as well. So it's ringing the bells as often as possible and trying to get as much in. So it's a big quarter for corporate. Yeah,
it's challenging too. Kelly, what about you? What does that look like for you typically?
Yeah, in our organization, so it's kind of twofold. So first, to everybody that's out there, in addition to wearing a hat as a founder of a nonprofit in our space and business resource group, I also serve as a director of global partners over at Five9, which is a contact center as a service organization. So at the end of the year, my hats become plentiful. And what I mean by that is that because I'm on the channel side, I hope to serve my internal organization and make sure that they're able to close out some deals. We try to strive for that maybe by the middle of December, because we go into what we call like a company shutdown. So everybody can kind of relax all at the same time. But then externally for our partners, that's kind of like wrapping up their year too, right? Making sure that they're good to go. They have either whatever campaigns and things that they're looking to do in the first quarter of the year. We're maybe getting them that content pretty early so they can layer that in so they can get started for the year. And then selfishly for myself within my org, I start to look at the things that I've accomplished over the year. And, everybody has these lists of things that they want to do. And some of those things just don't get done. And so I add that to the list for 24. I at least reevaluate, add that to the list for 2024, and then start to think about what I want to accomplish in the coming year. And so I kind of double down on those three things. I'm helping my sales team internally, I'm helping the partners externally. And then I'm trying to set a guide and a plan for myself as much as I can before going into SCO, obviously, for the beginning of the year and going into the next following year.
I love it. So my final question for you is going to be just to, as you're on your way out the door, is to leave a little advice or share something that you do at the end of the year and going into the new year to kind of set yourself up for success. So is there anything else that you'd like to leave everyone with? Like a little.
Yeah, I think that. So I'll leave people with two things. Obviously we're in a challenging economic time. And so some of us, I've only been in this space for about 9 years, right? I'm not going to claim 10 years just yet, but I've been in this space for about 9 years. And so I haven't been on this part of an economic downturn, right? And so I caution us to think about, one, how we're interacting with each other, because you never know what someone is going through or what challenges they're experiencing because of the economic downturn right now. But then also take into consideration our customers as well as what they're trying to solve for when you're showing up and you're sharing technology with them, right? They have budgets. automation is important. That's going to help them save money, but then also they have to be mindful about whether automation is going to displace their people. And so at the end of the day, I like us to just be better in community with each other. I guess is how I would wrap that up, not only on a one-to-one, but when we're going to solve for technology solutions for our customer. And then personally, I like to take the downtime, even if my company didn't have it, I still take 2 weeks at the end of the year. And I sleep in or I get up early and I start to get into my routines of what Kel needs to replenish herself from a crazy year. Ronell, you and I, and Tasha, you too. I saw you a few weeks ago. We've been on the road. I've been on the road since September. So this is my first week home. Like I'm here this week, but I'm home next week and the week after, and then I'm on the road for 2 more weeks. Then I'm absolutely home. So for someone in a fast-paced environment that wears a hat of mom and wife and all the things, it's time for me to kind of get quiet and really do an evaluation of what the year was and what things I want to accomplish for the year coming.
Love it.
Too much, but yeah.
Well, Kelly, again, thank you for hanging out with us, and I appreciate the
Don't go,
partnership.
Kelly, don't go. Not playing.
with the exposure and the great work that's being done there. She's not going permanently, Tasha.
I know. We just love some Kelly. We love some Kelly.
Leaving this webinar.
Yes, and so you
know
guys
what they say. When mom and dad's gone.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Where's mine?
Hey, by the way, guys, it's 4 o'clock here in Atlanta, and it's for some, wherever you're at, you guys can live vicariously through me. So if you're in the West Coast, it's 4 o'clock. Grab your cocktail, grab your little drink. Let me show you guys what I'm drinking today. Anyway, bye, Kelly. I know you got to bounce.
Y'all have fun. I'll see you later.
Bye.
So, Tasha, you're drinking tea?
The nervous too. All that travel, you get little bugs and germs. What is that?
This is a collaboration whiskey, right? With Blackened and Rabbit Hole.
Wow.
Yeah. This is fun one. So we're going to get
into
some.
I was just on the phone with someone at Avant, and we were talking about how Ronell is a connoisseur, and they asked me as if I know anything about bourbons, and I'm like, talk to me about tequila. Not bourbon.
People always think I'm a connoisseur of whiskey. I'm not. It's business and bourbon. I am a connoisseur of business. I like bourbon and whiskey, but it's always business before bourbon, and except for today.
Yes, bourbon before business. I love it. Well, open up the chest, the good stuff. Listen, all right, I'll be over there next week. Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, so let's get into this conversation, sis. All right. So what does, has the end of the year, has it been something that is, and since Jamel couldn't join us, I'm gonna hop right into this. So it's gonna be you and me going back and forth. And guys, if you are, whatever platform you're on, pop your question. Tell us what's going on in your world. So as I'm asking her the question, I'm asking you the question too. So what does the end of the year usually look like for you? Is it difficult? Is it easy? What's that been like for you traditionally?
I love the end of the year. I really do. There's some anxiety with it. You could, when you go into the fourth quarter, what you have is what you have, right? At the fourth quarter. So it's either like you're really excited. You usually I usually have a couple big deals coming through to close at Q4. And I know it is what it is, but the January is even more exciting. Like I enjoy the end of the year. I know some reps don't because it is high pressure, all hands on deck. But I enjoy it. I usually have really big October, Novembers. Really typically my trajectory.
So for you, has it usually is December a strong month for you?
December ends up good. I would say October, Novembers are really, really solid months for me. And then Decembers are good. But the great is November for me, typically.
So,
for me.
For me, Decembers traditionally have been pretty good, even though we're talking about 14 selling days, they've always been really strong. But I heard something, and what it is that you just said that I hope people can take from this is that you said your Octobers and Novembers are strong, December's kind of not. but before that, you said basically, it is what it is. Like you are where you are. So I think that's where so many people are challenged with going into December is running from the truth, accepting the
Mm,
truth. The truth is, listen, this is where I'm at. And I think you can process it better. You can be more successful if you come to grips with exactly what your situation is.
yeah.
You feel me? So like,
Yeah.
okay, because either your success or lack of success in this moment is not based upon what you're doing in this moment. It's
Right.
based upon what you did in the previous moments, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So the key to being successful in December is really doing your funnel building in those previous months, having that strong funnel. I've seen that decision makers are um usually they're trying to make decisions in
Yeah.
December. Like, so they're closing out their years. So as long as you can get them before they shut down for the end of the year, you're usually pretty good, right? But you
You're in a
got to
good
get
place.
in, you got to run to the truth, as Randy Reimers says. You got to run to the truth and understand it. Hey, I got until December 12-ish, December 14th, somewhere around 15th, depending on how the days line up to lock these people down,
Right.
and be successful. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've even pushed it to, I mean, I've had deals come in on the 30th, December 30th, they're coming
Oh,
through December 31st if it falls, on a weekend, and those are great. And it's the holidays, so I feel like, customers, they want to give you answers. They want to, they're a little bit more lighthearted. They know we all want to go eat our turkey and hang out with family, but we've got these deals that need to happen. So I feel like just it's a fun quarter. It's
yeah.
insane, but it's a fun quarter, and
Well,
and
it's fun for
customers
you.
are it's fun for me. And customers are more like if they're in the sales cycle already. That's what I mean. You have what you have. If they're in the sales cycle, you could kind of push them a little bit more, and you could say, hey, you could kind of ask those favors, like, let's get this done. Where are we at? Right? We don't want this to end because the
Fantastic.
expectation is mutual.
Fantastic. I love that. Here's why I love that. A lot of times I've found that sellers are afraid to ask for the business and they forget that they're talking to normal human beings,
Mhm.
right? One of the things that I have coached my sellers on is that, listen, you can't lose what you don't have. People are afraid to ask for the business, for one, um, because they think they're going to lose the business. But if you don't have it to begin with, it doesn't exist. And number two, to your point, these people are normal people just like you. If you come to them like a normal person, you're like, listen, it's the end of the year. Like they know all these things, but it's
They
funny
know it.
because
They've been through it.
salespeople, they're like tiptoe around it, and by tiptoeing around it, you look and sound pushy, and
Mhm.
it comes off bad, as
Yeah.
opposed to just being honest with them and saying, listen, it's the end of the year. Trying to finish my year out the right way, finish my quarter out the right way. I'm this far away. And I find that like people want to help. Like it's our nature to be helpful. Like we want to help. So as long as it benefits us, and again, if you haven't presented a solution that's bringing value and benefits them, well, then you're wasting your damn time to begin with. You've done a really
Yeah.
shitty job with that. You should probably read my book and learn how
Shut
to
the
do
hell up.
discovery properly. But
Yes.
if you've done that and you're just like, you got that person that's like they're teetering off on the edge, like, yo, make that call in that favor, be straight up with them.
Yeah.
All
No,
right,
for sure.
so that's one of the things that you've used. You've said that when you're getting to the end of the year, like you'll just straight up like call in that I don't want to call, the favor, but for lack of a better way to put it, I'm just going to say favor. It's not a favor because you're bringing value, you're
Correct.
making an impact,
Yeah.
but you're willing to ask for the business. Okay, um, so that's cool. So you got your month in. Okay, you got your December in. So again, guys, takeaway from this: go ask for the business. Go ask for the business. Go ask for the business. Run to the truth. Know that you have 15 days or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Look at your calendars right now. Like Tasha says, she's closed business on the 30th. You can't depend on that.
No,
So
no,
most of
that's
your
a Hail
decision
Mary.
makers, they're out, right?
Yeah, it's
That
a Hail
doesn't mean you
Mary.
can't
Just
close on the
yeah.
30th, but prepare yourself for the worst case scenario, which is, hey, listen, come December, whatever it is, depending on the year, 17th, 18th, 20th, whatever it happens to be, they're probably going, based upon what that calendar looks like, they're probably going to be out through the rest of the year.
Mhm.
So accept that truth, but then, you can still work, like Tasha says.
The
So,
best thing, if I could add to that real quick,
yes,
the
please.
best thing that I learned from great salespeople, which I initiated as
Me?
well, is doing a mutual. Yes, is doing a mutual plan, right? Like when you're in a opportunity cycle with the customer, create a mutual plan. That mutual plan is
Mm,
very specific. It has dates and timelines, right? So every time when you're talking to them, if you have a weekly cadence with this customer and you're talking to them, hey, where are we at? See, here's the mutual plan. We're at the PLC stage. Now we're at the, review the contract and agreement stage. Like keep reiterating that with your customer, with your champion of your account, and but having something in document that they mutually agree upon as well. And it makes it easy. It doesn't sound like you're being pushy towards the end, or you don't even have to call in a favor because you're like, look, here's the plan. Where are we at with that? Um, Anything that would prevent us from moving forward each step, So that makes it really easy.
yeah, I love that. So what I'm hearing there is called accountability. It's mutual accountability. So you're setting up accountability between the customer and you early on in the process, which makes that sale happen on a schedule, on a predetermined schedule.
Yes.
I love that.
Hmm.
Okay. So all right, so we got to the end of the year, okay? And we use these couple of strategies. Again, for those of you that are watching this that were expecting to like hear like the magic bullet on how you're going to turn your year around here in the next, what is it? 6 weeks, 5 weeks of business, you're not going to get it because it doesn't exist. What I want you to learn from this is that you need to build to this and prepare for this earlier on in the year. That's facts. Somebody else is doing a LinkedIn Live right now and they're saying some other trash. This is facts. They're giving you some
Facts.
fiction, saying, "Oh, trying to give you a quick fix." There's no quick
No.
fix to doing great business. You have to prepare and you got to do the work. And so if you're preparing, doing that funnel building, now these extra couple of strategies that Tasha just shared are going to help you to close that business, but it starts with planting the seeds. If you have not planted the seeds, there's nothing there to reap. And as we get towards the end of the year, people are busier with other things, so it gets harder to do significant funnel building in November and December that's going to turn into quick sales for you. So we've established that. So my next question for you, Tasha, is so we get into January, okay? And January, our decision makers are all getting back into the office like the second week of January because we always
Hmm.
got that New Year's thing and that hangover, and
Yeah.
we also got like, okay, everybody's dealing with the hangover. We're dealing with the hangover because maybe we had a couple of weeks off, we're chilling with the family, we're having a good time, and now we're coming back to the office. Our decision makers are doing the same thing, right? They've been with their families, chilling, having a good time, drinking a little bit too much, eating a little bit too much, and now it's time to get back to business. How do you, first of all, before I want to get to that part in between there, before you get to
January
the
1.
yes, to January 1, what do you do in preparation for it?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and this is very important for the way the rest of the year will go. I think the first thing that I like to do is clean up, clean up, clean up. I like to clean up my data. And what I mean by that is, you know, really understanding my scope, right? What is my territory and my accounts and what's real, what's fake, what's
Yeah,
right? Um, Cleanup is important. There's just so much garbage in our Salesforce, whatever CRM we use.
true that.
Um, I want to have a very, very specific list of who my A, B, C players are going into the new year,
Yeah,
especially if you work corporate, your territories might change. You might get right that new year comes around. You might get new territories, new account base, whatever. But I think going into the year, in December is what I do is I look at my town, my territory account. Yes, I clean my house up and identify my A, B, C players. I'll also, see what low hanging fruit I could get for Q1, right? So I'll identify
Ooh,
that as well. The
ooh,
cleanup.
I got a
If you want
couple
to
of
have a
really
fast
good
start.
things out of that. Couple of really good things about out of that. So you said looking at low hanging fruit. That's strategy. That is strategy. Most of y'all going about your sales career just like trying to outwork the next person, and you're not thinking about strategy. So you said you're trying to identify that low hanging fruit because again, going into January, we know it's going to be harder to nail down people. We know that they're getting into the office slow and that their decision making process slows down. And so if you have already identified those low hanging fruit sort of opportunities to prioritize them, you're going to have a better chance of hitting your quota in January. Love that. Okay. The other thing that you said that I love is clean your damn house. Clean your house. And so when you say that, I want people to take that literally. Literally, like
It takes
I'm
10
at
hours. I will tell you that. It takes me 10 hours to clean my house
10
usually.
hours because you saying that, and the minute you said that, and I typed in the chat, clean your house, I'm looking at my desk. Y'all can't see my desk. My desk is a damn mess. But and it's because it's all as I look at it, it's all the year, the buildup of the year. I got sticky notes over here, I got notebooks over there. I got so like if you can take that time in that little lull in the end of the year between in that Christmas time to New Year's to clean your environment, not
Mhm.
just of course, you like you said, your CRM and your technology, all that, your email, but clean your environment. It gives you a fresh state of mind and
Mm.
gives you energy, right? Is that what it does for you?
Oh man, that's spot on. Yeah, it feels so good. You feel prepped for the year. I don't think you'll have that hangover feeling like, oh my God, here comes January. Like you're ready. You're like, it's
Yeah,
cleaned up. I
let's
know what
get
I'm
it.
doing.
Let's
You're
get
getting
it.
into it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
the clean house analogy. Another thing that I'll do, when I look for that low hanging fruit, like give an example. Let's say I know that, my company just rolled out a new product and, I'm looking through my customer base and I'm like, man, these 3, 4, 5 companies will be great for it, great fit for it. And if I have relationships in there, I'll just put a calendar invite and I'll book it. I'll send it to them. Hey, January 7th, let's meet. And I send it out. I will tell you this is like number
Ooh.
one key success that I love because they'll either ignore you, but you'll usually get a response. They'll either say, Tasha, not ready, not now. Or they're like, oh, sure. It's one or two answers when I send out a calendar
Ooh.
invite. Always not an email, not a LinkedIn message. I will
Ooh.
send out a calendar invite that shows that
I
I'm
hope y'all
booking.
listen to this. That's the next level.
Yeah, the CEO, the CFO, whoever, they're going to respond because it's showing up as a potential calendar meeting, and they're like, "What is this?" And and with that, they could decline it, and usually will respond respectfully. But I love that. But that's for definitely low hanging fruit, right? Accounts that or you know that there's a great fit for something specific. You want to show them a specific solution or do an account review. Just book it out on their calendar. They're really usually willing to accept it in January. They'll accept the meeting.
That's
I
next
love that.
level. What's the worst that could happen? What's
They
the worst that could happen, folks?
they ignore you. They say, "Don't talk to me again." I mean, that happens, but it's very rare that they say, "Don't talk to me." It happens.
Yeah, that's great advice. But you know what? I Here's how I feel about the sales game. If you don't get your hand slapped every now and then, you're not doing enough. You're not pushing hard enough. Like it's our job to push boundaries a little bit. And again, if it's all, and that's where growth happens too. If it's all comfort and like, yeah, you're not pushing enough. Sometimes, yeah, every now and then you're gonna lose one,
Mhm.
but that's okay. Think about how many you lose because you don't push. Think about that.
Mm,
Happens all the
yeah.
time. I know. All right. That's great stuff, Tasha. So and if I could, let me think what I'd want to tag on to that. Yeah, for me, um, I think just again clean the house like you said, and just a refresh of everything. You want to you want to put yourself into a position to where when that January, where it's like you're at the starting blocks, when January comes around, like you're not like um just rolling into it sluggishly. You can't wait. Like it's
Mhm.
just, oh, you
Let's
ready to
go.
go.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like you about to get in the starting blocks and you just sitting there, that anticipation, ready for that
Mhm.
gun to go off. And to do
Yeah.
that, it takes preparation. And I think for me, doing some of the things that you're talking about and taking time to like journal, like go to coffee. I'm the coffee shop dude. Go to
Mhm.
coffee shops or whatever, and just what I love about that time of the year is nobody's working.
Mm.
And so for me, it's my most productive time for game planning and
Mm.
strategizing. And so that re-energizes me because all the rest of the year, everybody's working, it's frenetic. Like I get a lot of my quality work done, Tasha, on Saturdays, right?
Mhm.
Because Monday through Friday, it's just a battle, right? Like there's emails, there's texts, there's phone calls, whatever. And so you kind of work in between your emails and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that is the least efficient work you could possibly do. There's studies that have been done that when you take your focus off of whatever it is that you're doing, it takes like 15 to 20 minutes to get back to that same level of effectiveness.
That
So
makes
think
sense.
about that. If I'm working on a project, oh, and then there's an email, we got constant distractions. Our work just sucks. So for me, Saturday is that time
Mm.
where I get every Saturday, I'm getting like 3 to 4 hours of work in. And I mean, it's good, but it sucks because I work down there 7 days a week, every week. That's not great. Don't recommend it, but it's what I got to do. Anyhow, that Saturday work, as I call it, is the most efficient work of the
Mm.
whole year.
Wow.
I'm sorry, the whole week
Wow.
for me because it's not distracted. Now,
Wow.
you when you think about the that break time, that winter break, guess what? It's all Saturdays. It's
Mm.
all Saturdays. So like when I have that time to get work in, go to coffee shop, hang out for the day and just working that strategy. What am I going to do? What I want to do, looking at the data and all that stuff. It energizes me. And we've got enough time in between like Christmas and the start of New Year that like, oh, I start getting angsty. I start getting just there's a little bit of positive anxiety that's
Yeah.
building up, ready to like go get it. So what I would recommend to folks is combine that with strategy because I can
Mhm.
be ready to go all I want, but if I got a shit strategy, I'm just going to be frustrated. But like you said, I love that advice you gave about the calendar. Oh my God, y'all need to take that. If you did not hear that, if you just popped onto this, rewind it and listen to what Tasha said 3 minutes ago about the strategy for calendaring. That was amazing. I love it. Okay,
In
so
addition to external, I do
yeah,
like the first week of coming back too, I like to book internal, right? Or mentors meetings, right? Mentors, right? I want to book
mentors.
some time with Vernell, have them on my calendar, right?
Yeah,
New
ooh,
year, get new ideas, feel rejuvenated by other people because I can only have so much in my head.
yeah,
And I do like to reach out that first week or so of January and have bookings of internal, my cross-functional partners, my
yeah,
engineer,
yeah,
another manager, right? Like,
yeah.
yo, how's your year? What are you thinking? What are you doing different? And that helps with strategy as well.
Very smart. Very smart, man. Jeez, Tasha, you killing. I'm the one that wrote the damn book, and you teaching me.
Hey, I learned something along the way, right? For you.
By the way, guys, get the book if you don't have it, and it's on paperback. It's on
Yes.
audiobook,
Come on right
and
there.
it is
Mhm.
fantastic. And I'm a little biased, but it is. check out the reviews. I'm not the only one that says that. So go enjoy it. And get, that's actually a great use of that time. That's a great use of that time to invest in some education during that little break, right? So whether it's
Agreed.
my book or it's other pieces of content that you want to consume to get your game tight and to get you, because a lot of what we're talking about right now, Tasha, is mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the
1000%.
difference
Yeah.
between, that's how you start the year stronger, is by getting the mindset right. I want to ask you about technology, and maybe some, are there any technology, you've given some great advice in terms of some techniques, but any technologies that maybe you're using or that you think people should be leveraging, or any other trends in technology you think people should be leveraging to help get themselves off to that good start in sales?
Yeah. So, I'm a believer in what is that? You need to consume what you sell, right? And
Ooh,
right now, a big thing is AI, right? AI powered tools and automation and all of this. It's big, right? And salespeople sometimes, when new tech comes out, it could be a little bit, give us some trepidation, right? To, oh my God, I had to understand this
yeah,
tech. I mean, this is the same thing companies are thinking too. Like, what is AI? How are we going to use it? So, trying to use tools that have AI components in it. So, for example, anything that has closed captioning and transcriptions and exporting that to your Salesforce, right? That's the AI, generative AI. Um, so I do. Zoom has technology like that where you could create a meeting and that meeting will go out into a transcript and go into your CRM. That way you have something to talk to your customers about, right? Like use some sort um, uh, of of the technology. I also like and I'm a big on technology, but when it comes to building your pipeline, building relationships, that stuff has to be as personable, customized as possible. Guys, I'm going back. I'm knocking on doors. Not knocking on doors literally. Well, kind of, yeah. I will go see my customer in person as well. Like, people are going back, they're back in the office, if not every day, 3 times a day. I'm going in there giving them a gift or dropping off my business card to them. And I'm able to get way more sometimes than just, my LinkedIn outreach or my email. I do all of it though. I think that's what's important, to kind of do all of it. But be the thought leader, right? If you're selling technology, show them technology, right? If you're like, I did an email. I sent an email to a customer prospect, I should say, and I recorded a demo for him. It was 60-second demo with my face and a demo in the background. And I couldn't get a hold of this CIO for a long time, but I sent him this video and I said, "Hey, I did a custom demo for you. I haven't been able to catch you for a demo, so I'm just doing a demo for you." And it was a customized, and he responded. He responded to it, right? So use technology in our favor to help customize conversations. If AI is big, talk about AI, use AI. And then, of course, just the fundamentals, right? Knocking on doors and seeing people, I think they appreciate that.
yeah, Tasha. So I agree, and I'm going to add to that. So as we talk about AI, like everyone's talking about AI, and there is an advantage, and there is an opportunity that most of you guys aren't probably thinking about. See, what happens when technologies like AI disrupt like this, there is a whole lot of adoption and a whole lot of shitty use of it.
Mm,
Okay, lazy use of it. This is most times when technology, advances like this, people take those technologies and try to use it in ways to do less work. Which, by the way, using it for less work is not bad. It's bad when your focus on how you use it is simply focused on doing less work and not the ultimate outcomes that you want. Okay. So, which the outcomes that we all want is We don't just want to do less work. We want to make more money. We want to make more sales. We want to close more deals. So I'm going to give you guys some strategies specifically on how to use this stuff, how I use it every single day. Okay. If you have read my book, you will understand that my whole philosophy on sales and on really comes down to understanding what matters most to your customer. And you understand what matters most to your customer by doing amazing discovery. Okay. One of the biggest challenges in discovery for us is that it's us. It's our brains. We're constantly thinking of, when you're talking to someone and you're asking them questions, you're constantly thinking about, what am I going to say? How am I going to respond? Instead of just shutting the hell up and taking that data in. So what I teach in the book is the importance of note taking during discovery, right? Take notes because it helps us to comprehend more. And then take that away from the meeting. And then that's when you create your solution. Now, leveraging AI and technology specifically, I use Fathom Video. I'm gonna put that into the chat for you guys. Fathom.video. Okay. So I leverage this because I use this on every single one of my Zoom meetings, all of them. Okay. And what it does for me is like what Tasha's talking about, that Zoom plugin. But I think that it's selfishly, I think this is better than anything else I've used out there. So Fathom Video is an app on the Zoom marketplace and everything. So it can run over your Zoom. It can run over your Google Meets or whatever the hell they call it. It can roll over Microsoft Teams, all that. Okay. And so what it'll do is record your whole meeting. It will transcribe all of it with really great accuracy. And it will also create summaries. So it creates summaries. So it says, hey, listen, at this point in the conversation, 3 minutes and 36 seconds in, Ronell and Tasha, we're talking about this. And then you can click on that hyperlink to go directly to that point in the video and rewatch it. So here's the power in that. Again, with discovery being the most important part of the sales process. And it is, if you don't believe me, read the damn book. It's important for us to get as much information, ask great questions, get as much information as possible, and be able to decipher and work through that information that we receive to create a great solution that nails it for us, that closes the deal. So this does it for us. For you guys, they're probably a lot like me, that like I have a hard time like focusing my brain all the time on everything somebody's saying. This does it for me. And so now I can, after the call, I can go and I can review that data. And I can review it in a very efficient way, because if it was just transcribed, that don't help me a whole lot because it's just transcribed. It's still a lot of data for me to read through.
Right.
Having those individual summaries, that does it for me. Okay. So there's that. Here's the next thing. It's going to get you off to a great start and you'll knock it out the park. And most of you guys that are watching this on live or replay aren't going to do it. But I'm telling you, I've been telling y'all for 5 years. That is personal video.
Yes. Yes.
I've been doing
Love
personal
it.
video for 5 years, and I've been preaching to y'all. If you want to know how to do it, there's a course on businessandbourbon.live in our courses on that I did in collaboration with CoVideo to give people some instruction. But it is an absolute game changer. So I said 90, and it's not brand new. And 90% of y'all, like I just said, aren't going to do it, which means that the 10% of you that do, it's going to be magical for you.
Fire. You put me on to that. You put me on to it. I started seeing your videos come through an email and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll clickbait that, right? I won't click an email, but I'll clickbait your video. I'm like, okay, this guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. And I remember I asked you, it was probably this time last year, I think, maybe a little over a year ago. I remember asking, what solutions do you use? Yeah. You told me. I got on it, and it has been a game changer. Video, game changer.
And it's going to continue to be, Tasha, because people are lazy with adoption of it. Even when they're buying it, at times they're just not using it because they're too concerned about, how do I look? Or man, what you want to look like is a human being.
Yeah.
Don't
Throw
you
a
ain't
wig
got
on.
you
I
don't,
tell people throw a wig on. I change wigs. Sometimes, like this is my real hair, but sometimes I put wigs on. I make it fun. I make it fun. I will say in LinkedIn, I use LinkedIn video a lot, right? They could on my
yeah.
mobile, so I'll put on a quick little wig and it'll be bright red and
No
whatever.
way. You do that?
I have, I have, and then I'll be like A/B test it. I'll A/B test it. Like, do people care if I'm a redhead or? It's
That's
funny.
hilarious. Oh, shout out to our father. He just tagged in the comments on
Oh, that's right.
Facebook.
Oh, that's
Al,
great.
Big Al, Alfred
Oh,
Richards,
that's
Alfred
awesome.
Delano, our father. We love you, Dad, and thanks
King.
for watching us. Okay, so uh you got anything? It's time to wrap this bad boy up, T Dot. I could do this all day because
Yeah.
I love talking to my sister, talking about um sales and business and it's what we know. It's what we were born into. Shout out to Al Richards. So anything you want to leave the community with as we start to close?
Yeah, I think the way that Kelly mentioned in the beginning, right? And then you said throughout, it is our mental state. Um, we've got
Mm,
to, we're in sales, but take care of yourselves, right? Take care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally. The things change, companies change, products change, technology changes, your team changes, your kids change, right? So, but the one thing consistent you can do is what you're in control of, right? So that's what we put in our mouth, what we say out our mouth. Um, and I just think like just the health, right? The mental health in general is really important. I just want to say, I want to wish everyone, some time to decompress over the holidays and relax and have fun, but have a game plan. That way when you come into it January, you're ready and there's no stress. It will be fun.
love it. Love it. And hey, if and there's you just spit so many gems today, and I really appreciate that. And there's so much value that our live and our replay audience is going to get from this, but especially in the content that we create after this as well. So I can't wait to distribute this throughout the business and bourbon community, the exposure community, and our extended networks. Like this was fire. And hey, I appreciate you guys that have dedicated your time, giving us time live. That means a lot. Even on replay as well, because there's nothing more valuable than that. That's our greatest asset. But I have to tell y'all, if it's just our mom and our dad, it's all good. Like that's like now our mother just checked in. Hey mom, love you too. And she checked in on Facebook. She said it was a great live. So that's all that matters. So we're good. I
We
will just
are.
say
Thank
one
you,
thing
Reno.
in closing. Go to businessandbourbon.live, become a member. If you're looking for something to do that's creative here going into the end of the year, you got a little bit of time left to start ordering cocktail kits that'll really make an impact with your with your people whose attention that you covet and value, whether that be partners or be customers. You got a little time to start placing some orders for those and get those on-demand kits in their hands and give them a special experience for the holiday. So lastly, just tagging on to what you said, Tasha, whatever, and this, and you mentioned different things going on in people's lives and all that. Just keep in mind, folks, it's a season. This is just a season. Whatever is going on, whatever tough things you're dealing with, negative things, whatever, it's a season and it'll pass.
Yes.
So it's all about mindset, like Tasha said. So do whatever it takes to get your mindset right. Get nurtured by the people that love you, and get ready to have a fantastic January. So, because we're going to. Am I right, sis?
That's right. Always. We got this. We got
All
this.
right. We do. We all got this. Thanks, Tosh. This was fun.
Thank you so much for
Uh,
inviting me. I
and
appreciate
we
it.
miss you, Jamel, but we'll do another one and we'll get all three in. That's gonna be crazy.
Let's go. Let's go. I love
Crazy,
it. Thank
full of
you.
wisdom. All right, bye guys. Have a
There
fantastic
he is.
evening.
JP
Thank
right
you for your
there.
time.
There you go.
Oh, JPR, there he
Joy.
is. Next time, JPR.
Get
I'm
well,
glad you
brother.
got out of the bed for a minute to come check this out, and we
Oh,
hope you feel
man.
better really soon. But this was so much fun. I think that we'll probably do our start of, if you guys are available and willing to do it. I think that we'll probably do it January for our January webinar and getting started on the year, and kind of give everyone some good energy from the Richards kids.
Let's go. We love you guys. Love you, bro. Thank you again.
Bye, guys.
Everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.